Actually, it's not exactly right to say that all airline companies always board their planes front to back. But there are several studies out there, and you can imagine there are actually scientists standing with a stopwatch near the gate and making conclusions. Which is understandable because every minute in modern aviation is precious time that may bring in massive money for the company. So there are three generally acceptable and widely used patterns of boarding in modern aviation. Firstly, it's front to back, when passengers are called by the crew row by row or by blocks, starting with the first row and finishing with the tail seats. Some companies may board business and first class and then start boarding back to front to make it more comfortable for people to put their bags up without disturbing other passengers. This is a more efficient variation of boarding, to be honest, and it's mostly used by traditional European and Canadian airline companies. Secondly, it's the window to aisle boarding, when first they board window seats throughout the plane, then middle seats, and then aisle seats. This one seems pretty logical, but it isn't used that much now because the crew will need to shout out seat numbers one by one, which takes a lot of time and creates a certain mess. And also there are issues with one family being divided into different boarding groups, which is not acceptable in many cases. And thirdly, it's chaotic boarding, where people just crowd in a huge line near the gate. This is the worst thing for passengers, as there is a lot of stress in this type of boarding. But you may notice that low-cost companies with no business class on their planes will mostly use this scheme. This makes me think that this method is the fastest because the crew won't need to spend time shouting out any numbers. They just let passengers stand in line for half an hour and create a big mess in the plane. But it's still faster than trying to organize that process somehow. Well, this makes me think that the front-to-back boarding that is still widely used by traditional airlines and bigger planes is for business class passengers to board first and feel more comfortable. Because if you look at the studies, they are very contradictory and come to surprisingly different conclusions. And business class seats are located in the front part of the plane, so it makes sense to let rich guys board first to reduce possible discomfort in passenger lines for them. What I can say for sure is that the long-lasting myth that planes are boarded front to back for better load distribution is not true at all. The plane obviously won't move an inch if people board the tail first.